Trading has now closed for the day for the spot XRP ETFs. We have 4 Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, Canary, and Grayscale. Today, Franklin Templeton and Grayscale launched. We're gonna go through what all of these numbers mean, what are the projections, and any other updates around all of this. So let's start here with Franklin Templeton's main account here on X, saying blockchain innovation is driving fast growing businesses. The digital asset tokens like XRP serve as a powerful incentive mechanisms that help bootstrap decentralized networks and align stakeholder interests, said Roger Baston, head of digital assets at Franklin Templeton Global. Let's just give them a follow, might as well. Within a diversified digital portfolio, we view XRP as a foundational building block. $1.7 trillion asset management group Franklin Templeton is calling XRP foundational and a building block. Okay, love to hear that. XRP-Z provides regulated custody, daily transparency, and liquidity without the operational complexity of holding the token directly. And so here is the Monday close. Looks like Bitwise XRP, 36 million. Wow. Strong Bitwise coming in with the flex. Franklin Templeton did 23 million, Canary did 18 million, and Grayscale did 6 million. The total amount for the 4 spot ETFs is $85,756. That is pretty crazy. And we have more ETFs on the way. We could be doing $100 million in volume in the short term. And so here it is, used today, average up to 7 funds, 20 million per average, $140 million per day, $700 million per week, which is a 5-day work week, or the markets, because it's a stock market, it's not crypto market. So this is open 5 days a week, 700 million, $2.8 billion per month, and $33.6 billion per year. This is what we've been missing. Institutional money going into XRP. Sure, we've seen some whales come in and do all of that, but we are missing that stock market money, and we are starting to see that finally flow. It feels pretty good. And then Chad said, these scenarios keep returning the same answer. In less than 1 year, the combined ETFs will drain the entire circulating supply of XRP. On a conservative level, we just need 1 year and it's gone. Aggressive, BlackRock enters along with every other asset manager, and XRP is gone in less than 6 months. There's only one answer that changes this. The price of XRP must be extremely high. Now, if that sent chills down your spine, you are not alone. Get in line, all right? We're all feeling the flow. And then approximately 30 to 40 million in XRP could be acquired for the funds. Obviously, we're seeing a ton of tremendous volume. And then things are getting spicy in Korea. Korea is FOMOing. If you were paying attention to the video I made yesterday, I kind of told you that the market was going to pump today, especially around XRP. We knew that all of this news was coming. We also saw the futures market explode. If you caught that video and you bought XRP under $2, you are awesome. And then, of course, just some updated numbers. Bitwise, 1 hour ago, of 15.12%. So you're starting to see serious people getting into this. Bitwise XRP ETF burst through 1 million share volume within an hour and a half left to trade. So there's a lot of interest across all of these different platforms, right? Because you got to remember, each one of these financial institutions has firms that promote their products. And I think Franklin Templeton alone has 13,000 offices or something crazy like that. It's just pretty insane. Now let's shift gears here away from the ETFs. I did have a few clips that I wanted to play and talk with you about. This is Charles Hodgkinson, the founder of Cardano, talking about the Clarity Act and how Brad Garlinghouse was one of the hardest working people to get the Clarity Act over the finish line.
I think the hardest working person on the Clarity Act was Brad. You know, he was in DC pretty much every day, talking to people every day, eating with the president, doing all kinds of things. I keep running into him. I say,
we're talking about Brad Garlinghouse, correct? For clarity.
Yes, that's correct. He's one of the hardest working guys.
He is one of the hardest working guys, period. Now, I did a video. This video is going to come out on Tuesday morning. I did a video on Monday. The video is about Yoshitaka Kitao in Japan meeting with Scott Bessent, the treasurer of the United States, specifically talking about the future of finance and Ripple directly. And remember, Brad Garlinghouse himself said everything that Ripple does, XRP is at the heart of. So you have the Treasurer of the United States going to the UK, meeting with, you know, the ministers and all of that stuff, the finance ministers. Was it Rachel Reeves, I think is her name. I can't remember her exact title. I do apologize. But they met at Downing Street. Ripple was in that meeting. Now you have Scott Bessent going to Japan, talking to Yoshitaka Tao, the head of SBI, talking about Ripple. Are you starting to see a pattern here? If you haven't seen that video about Yoshitaka Tao basically saying that exact thing I just told you, if you don't believe me, go watch it. Crypto Eerie put the clip out. She did a great job curating it all. All right, here is Paul Barron, XRP, a battle-tested blockchain.
XRP, a battle-tested blockchain, originally designed for payments use cases, but broadening to other use cases today, one of the largest and most liquid assets in crypto. I think there will be significant demand for these ETF products.
You got to remember here, there's only so many institutional level 1 blockchains that, you know, when I say institutional level 1 blockchains, I mean that institutions are interested in using the technology and partnering with them, right? They have to meet a certain standard of trust and compliance and KYC and AML, all of these things that banks and financial institutions need to be able to even use that technology. And you're talking about the advancement of stablecoins, right? You're starting to see all of these, not just US dollar backed stablecoins, but you have Euro backed stablecoins. You're going to have yen backed stablecoins. You're going to have Great British pound backed stablecoins, Brazilian real backed stablecoins. You kind of see where this is going. And all of these stablecoins can transact and live on the XRP ledger, and financial institutions can launch their own stablecoins within the XRP ecosystem, and they can trade that stablecoin for any other stablecoin or crypto asset or real world asset or tokenized asset on the XRP ledger. And that is what really is going to start supercharging the price of XRP. Here is another clip here. Cody Carbone says more US states are preparing to allow tax payments in XRP. I thought this was interesting.
To see this at the state level as well. I mean, we've already talked about the municipal bonds in New Hampshire. I think you're going to see more states start to replicate this. Can you pay your state and local taxes through Bitcoin, through XRP, through Ethereum? I think this is going to be, it's a copycat government system. Well, it'll be huge.
Okay, so interesting part here, you will be able to pay your taxes in crypto. I don't know many people that are going to be flocking to do this. Obviously, if their crypto goes up dramatically in value and they have a lot of it, I could see maybe somebody parting ways. But I'm not going to be paying my taxes in XRP. I'm just going to go ahead and use the good old US dollar to do that. But what I'm trying to get at here is the US is looking for ways to obtain crypto, right? Without the approval of Congress, you cannot go out and spend taxpayer money to buy Bitcoin and XRP and these types of things, right? And that's why you see the Bitcoin Act going through Congress right now, because then they're going to use taxpayer funds. This would be a way for the US to acquire XRP, maybe some Solana and some other key crypto assets without actually going out and purchasing them. What the US does with the crypto, that will be up to them. And just to give you some more additional context, you can pay taxes in certain US states using cryptocurrency, including XRP, but this is not widespread and typically involves a third-party processor. Additionally, gains in income from XRP and most other crypto assets are subject to federal and often state taxes, treated same way as property tax in the US. And so Colorado accepts cryptocurrency for state tax payments through PayPal's Crypto Hub, allowing taxpayers to select their desired crypto for payment, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, potentially XRP. Other states like Florida and Wyoming have launched or proposed crypto-friendly tax programs, and then payments are converted to dollars via the processor. So I guess they aren't holding that unless, they changed a few laws or rules behind the scenes. All right, dethrone Bitcoin to take the #1 spot on South Korea's latest exchange. It's always nice when you see XRP in front of Bitcoin anywhere, but Korea is stepping up. And Reese Merrick says 92% of the world's banks still don't have direct SWIFT access for US dollar payouts. That means slower settlements, trapped liquidity, and correspondent fees eating away at their margins. US dollar stablecoins are not just cheaper and faster, they're often the only reliable way to move US dollars internationally. And so as we get this big push and shift to this digital revolution, XRP is going to play a pivotal role, and Ripple will be at the heart of all of this innovation. All right, guys, it's a shorter video. I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, you can like the video, you can share the video, you can leave a comment down below. Really appreciate your time. I'm Crypto Sensei. Aloha.